Hello everybody, CritCrab here with another story. This one is another AITA, or Am I the Asshole post. So once again, I call on the
Crab Council
to decide the OP's fate. But before we go into that, I want to take a moment to tell you about our fabulous sponsors, Grim Hollow. Enter the mysterious, grimdark world of Etheris. Grim Hollow is a new campaign setting for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. Much darker than your traditional tales of gold and glory, Grim Hollow is geared towards anyone who wants to explore the darker sides of what fantasy has to offer. Grim Hollow comes complete with an entire world ready to explore, but what's more, with variant mechanics, advanced backgrounds, and even player transformations, like vampire, aberrant horror, and even a lich, Grim Hollow is in a grimdark league of its own. You can order the PDF, but the hardcover book is now available for those who are looking to add a little spice to your bookshelves. See you there. All that aside, roll post. So, I'm in this game that plays once, sometimes twice a week. To start off with, I've always kind of felt like the odd one out, as everyone in the game are already close friends and have been for a while. I was only asked to join due to having been in the DM's previous game, where he wanted to invite mostly strangers. That game crashed twice, but since I was the player who remained the longest and put in effort to try and help him keep it going, he invited me to this game. It's a D&D 5e game, but flavored so that players can have and use technology instead of magic. For example, my character flavors his spells at different types of bullets or attachments on his gun. Our fighter flavors his ultra-strength reflexes as being due to cybernetics and so on. But anyways, everything was okay until last session. The party was hired to help the king of this island country find the MacGuffin sword, a mysterious blade that, in the stories, had two properties, but likely had more. Firstly, it was kind of like Thor's hammer, in that only those who the sword deemed worthy were allowed to wield it. Anyone else who tried would be absorbed into it and their power added to its. Secondly, the sword would only deflect elemental-based attacks. The king of the land sent his grandson with us, as his research suggested that his grandson was the only one who would be deemed worthy. The king also explained that there was this terrorist group who were also after the blade, as they thought that one of their members would also be deemed worthy. The king gave us time to stock up on anything that we might need before our mission to find the blade actually starts. However, during this time we didn't actually get to do much shopping, as this downtime was spent mostly with us getting to know the terrorist. Apparently, these terrorists were more freedom fighters than anything else. Apparently, the people of this island didn't like the king, as he forced modernization upon them and making their once proud warriors have to use guns, replacing farms with power plants, and etc. It's pretty obvious from the get-go that the DM is attempting to hammer home how these terrorists are the good guys, how modernization is bad, and how we are meant to betray the king. The leader of our party comes up with a plan. Half of us will work with the terrorists and freedom fighters in secret, and the other half will continue working with the king to keep up appearances. Also, we have like 5 NPCs, so splitting up wasn't that big of a deal. Well, this is where things start to go south for the DM, as the group that was assembled to work for the king didn't actually care about whether or not people liked having hospitals and electricity, and went off on their own to the king. Then grabbed his grandson, took him to the MacGuff blade, killed the boss that we were meant to take on as an entire party, and gave it to him. And then the grandson promptly turned evil and tried to use the sword to kill all of us. Thank goodness that our DM NPC was here to stop him, as he had a special power that let him touch the blade without dying. So he, of course, saved the entire party. Well, half of us. The other half of the party quickly approached, and a small in-character argument broke out over who we should end up giving the blade to. The grandson explains that turning evil was a one-time thing and that he won't do it again. He proves this by picking up the blade, then putting it back down, and not going power crazy. After a small talk, the group agrees that the grandson and the leader of the terrorists, whom the second half of the group brought with them, will have an honorable fist fight, and the winner will take the blade. The DM happily starts to roll, but his smile instantly fades, as the leader of the terrorists, let's call him T, swings wide and the grandson, let's call him J, counterpunches. T swings wide again, J hits him with a hard counter. T throws a body shot, but J throws a combo and knocks T down. T swings again, but J throws a looping strike, knocking T out. The DM is upset, but I guess he knew that we would know if he was fudging since his reaction was so very clear. J picks up the blade and asks if he can leave. All of the player characters are fine with it, as we've all quite frankly had enough of this mission. However, the NPCs are not quite so okay with it. They start an argument, and at this point I notice that there are more NPCs than there are player characters, so the DM could theoretically win every party vote. I actually ask the DM, away from the group, "Is this your way of trying to tell us that we messed up?" However, he declines to answer. The way I said it, however, I think he understood my real question was, "Are you trying to railroad us?" However, it never comes to that, as to further cement that our choice was wrong, one of the king's generals comes in. The general goes on a mini monologue about how he will control the grandson and use the sword's power to take control of the island. We silently send the king a message and show him what the general said. The king arrives, revealing that it was a setup, and he just ordered the general to do that. It's not really clear why. But here is where the incident that made me question everything comes in. The king calls me up to him. "For being a loyal follower, you will take one stab and you will be free to go." Assuming the others will get worse, my character takes his 10 damage and leaves. However, the others approach. "You've worked with the terrorists against us. You've betrayed your king. You've provided the enemy information. But you have never engaged in battle with my soldiers, so you're free to leave." This pissed me off to no end, as my character, who fully supported him and even gave his grandson the sword, has to take damage, but the people who wanted to depose him are free to go? At first I thought maybe it was favoritism. Maybe because the others are his close friends, they get to go free. But another player character, one who agreed and helped me try to help the king, also gets stabbed. So I realized that what he really meant to say was this: "You helped me against the terrorists, but I wanted you to join them, so take 10 damage. The king and his men leave us, telling us that we are banished and will be killed on sight. Each of the player characters agree that we want to leave and that we've had enough of the country. However, once again, the NPC and DM NPC speak up, saying that it matters what I want, to which the NPCs agree and argue that we have to help the terrorists and freedom fighters. After a bit of back and forth, the other players kind of just agree that that's what we'll do. I did not, as I was not allowed to chime in on the conversation. So, am I the asshole for opposing the railroad like I did? When the session ended, I kind of felt the DM's angry vibes towards me, though he never said anything to me. But some of the players did start joking about how the terrorists were gonna say, "There's a second sword," which the DM, seemingly angry, shut down pretty quick. "There is no second sword." "But there's a shield," another player chimed in. But again, back to the point. Am I the asshole? Should I apologize? I'm set to have another game of this campaign soon. Would it be petty to ask if I can change characters? I think part of it might have been that my character, who the DM actually made by the way, I picked the classes and build, but he made the backstory and personality, wanted to for the wrong option. Do you think it would be better if I asked to change and maybe played a character who just followed what NPCs want to do? I await judgment. End post. What happened here is what tends to happen when a DM tries to force an outcome because he's not prepared to handle anything else. If the DM, say, prepared for the event that the players might still side with the king, he wouldn't have had to so desperately drill down the fact that the party should side with the freedom fighters. And if he didn't try so hard to make them join the freedom fighters, there's a decent chance that they probably would have joined because they saw it as their choice. And even if they didn't join, the DM would at least have a plan. Every DM needs to understand that the story also belongs to the players, and that their choices should have an impact. Anyways, story aside, many of you may have noticed that I haven't been uploading much lately. Unfortunately, I got sick, and just as I got better, I got pretty badly injured. Those and a couple other things have been making me unable to make any videos lately. I genuinely don't know what I would have done if I wasn't being supported by you guys watching my videos while I've been out. So genuinely, thank you all for being here. Also, as of the time of this recording, there should be about 9 days left on a giveaway Easy Roller Dice and I have set up. If you're interested, I'll link it in the description. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please do leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more stories just like this one. Till next time.